171 on Monday the 21st of December 2015. Christmas is coming. I am Santa Claus. Welcome to In My Mug. Welcome to the news. Of course, I'm not the real Santa Claus. So, I'm just like, I fill in for him occasionally. Been sending lots of presents to lots of people. Without a sleigh, been mainly using Royal Mail. But while on that topic, go to www.hasbeen.co.uk/pages/Christmas, I think it is, where you can find out all of our shipping times, all of our opening times, and do get your Christmas orders in like as early as you can, because we can't guarantee anything getting there in time. Speaking of Christmas presents, you may want to buy somebody the SSSSS, which sold out 2/3 in the first 6 hours, offering previous subscribers a chance to get in there first. It may have actually run out by the time you're watching this, but the Steve Super Secret Stash was super popular last year and seems to be very popular this year, so thank you to everybody who resubscribed. Expect some fun over the coming weeks. I'm off to El Salvador on Christmas Eve, and I may do a few videos while I'm out there, and definitely photos and stuff like that, so all that to come. And that was the news. So we should do Focus On, but I'm not doing Focus On because it's Christmas, so it's time for the 6th in the series of the Has Been Christmas card. Definitely becoming a tradition now. Hope you enjoyed that Christmas card. I don't know what it is yet because I haven't seen it. It's still being made as I record this, but knowing the boys who do the work for us at Tentacle, I'm sure it's amazing. So anyway, this week's coffee is Finca, Escocia, and the farm was initially set up by a guy called Harry Adam Butter, who's the grandfather of the current owner, Joanna. Harry went to El Salvador from Dundee in Scotland at the end of the 1800s, beginning of 1900s. And he decided to move to a town called Berlin. It's Berlin in El Salvador, not the German one. And he decided that he was going to set up a farm on some land that he'd acquired. And now it's managed by third generation. This area is quite different to other parts we buy from in El Salvador, and it's actually the opposite side of San Salvador. The farm's name translated just means Scotland, and last year when we initially bought it, we launched it during the Scottish referendum, and it was a Cup of Excellence lot. It was kind of quite cute that they both matched up. They have Bourbon on the farm. They have the Kenya that we had last year. This is the Bourbon, and they've also planted a little bit of Pacas and Cusalecto. I can never remember the pronunciation of it, but basically they've been planting with some experiments and stuff. The rest of the property is pretty much natural forest, and they've set that land aside to protect it. I was very lucky this year that I managed to meet up with Joanna. So Alejandro from Finca, Argentina, that you may have seen sitting here before, he has his haircut at Joanna's barber shop, and they kind of got talking, so he took me to the farm to go see Joanna, or Johanna, sorry. I was quite shocked when I got there. The farm was really, really natural forest. It was really, really overgrown. The lowest yields I've seen on any farm. I mean, the yields were just terribly, terribly low. But we asked Johanna if she could separate the Bourbon from the SL28 for us so we could at least buy some more coffee. And we managed to buy a handful. This won't be around for very long. There isn't a lot of it. And there wasn't a lot at all from the farm. I think we ended up with a total of 12 bags from everything from the farm, so it's not good. The farm is in terrible state, and we've also found out that Johanna is no longer involved in the farm. The bank have kind of stepped in a little bit and said, like, we need to manage this with another group that is like a group that's meant to look after farms. So they haven't lost the farm, but we're definitely not going to see any of this coffee again, so it's the last time we'll see it. It's a super sad story. I really hope that I get to go and meet Johanna again this trip. She's a beautiful lady, and I need a haircut. So at least she does have a business to fall back on. So we should go through the numbers. The farm is called Finca Escocia. The nearest city is the town of Berlin. It's in the Usultan region of El Salvador. The farm is a total of 65 hectares, of which 18 is set aside for coffee. It has an altitude of 1,200 metres above sea level, which is not very high for El Salvador, but particularly high for that region where it's from. It's a Bourbon, and it's fully washed and sun-dried on raised tables. So, it's now time for the map bit. So hello again, here I am, I'm waving and up and away, and we're going right up. Come on, let's get up and away, and we are going to go across the Atlantic. So we're going to go to our left, which we've been doing a lot of, I know. But I think this week you're going to find that it's definitely worth this journey. So we're going to zoom down to Central America, and it's the time of year that we see all of these centrals coming through. This is one of the latter ones to arrive, but it's been well worth the wait. And let's go to El Salvador, which is a tiny country. Think of El Salvador, think of the size of Wales. So not Scotland like Escocia, but think of the size of Wales. The daft fact is that El Salvador has never won an Olympic medal. I find that sad. That's really mean. Poor El Salvador. It does only have a small population, so we'll kind of forgive it for that. But let's zoom down to the details. Now, this is the spine, and I've talked about this spine a lot when we've been talking about El Salvador, the Santa Ana spine into Arshapan. But if we zoom up, this is Escocia, and it's all on its little lonesome. So let's zoom down. And luckily, it was a very clear day when the Google Earth satellite was overhead. So you can see the drying patios there. Where the little flag is the house. And the coffee goes down into the crater, and it also goes up the hill. And I talked about the town of Berlin a little bit earlier. So let's just zoom down. And if you look in the distance there to the left, that is the town of Berlin. Not Berlin, Germany, but Berlin, El Salvador. So in El Sultan. So you can see the town there. Now, if we zoom back up, let's pull back up. And then if we go down, I'm going to show you the crater to the left there. So if you just look to the left, this is a truly volcanic area. This has been, there's been some pretty horrific stuff going on here at some point in the past. And we can see there that the lowest point is the ocean, which this department goes to, and the highest point is 2,738 metres, which would be no good for coffee. Really, the highest you can go is about 2,100. But that was the funky map bit. Hope you enjoyed the map bit. You definitely won't enjoy this bit because it's now time for Roland's Daft Fact of the Week. Here we go again. In a recent study by the BBC, Scottish people drink coffee stronger than those from Italy and Spain, who are renowned for the strength of their coffee. I think Roland may have missed the point on Escocia. It happens. Okay, time to whap you on pause. Time to go and get tasty and delicious drinks that I believe Christopher is making for me at this very moment. And I'll be back with you in just a second. So I'm back and I'm going to go straight into my espresso. So obviously this is the first year we've had this coffee. And I'm going to let you into a little secret. I don't normally do this, but I trusted Johanna to give us something delicious, and I didn't cup it after I'd agreed for her to separate it out. And I kind of felt a little bit it was our responsibility because We bought the Cup of Excellence the year before with the SL28, but also I really wanted to try it. I kind of had a feeling it was going to be good, and obviously we've cupped it and been test roasting it since, but it's the first time I've had it as an espresso. The overwhelming flavour for me is butterscotch. So you get a real butterscotch sweetness, but mixed in with that, it's like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like citrusy, like lime acidity that sits in there with that butterscotch. Now the two don't really sit together. What it does remind me of actually is the chocolate limes. That kind of whole kind of gooiness and stickiness with that lime. It's not like a fresh lime. It's like a false pretend lime. So I want chocolate limes, butterscotch, and a beautiful limey acidity. So into the caps. You really do get that acidity biting through. You get lots of that lime, and it kind of kills everything else. The butterscotch has disappeared into the background, and you just give it again a lime blast. It's not my idea of a great cappuccino, if I'm honest. It's not doing it for me. It's a bit one-dimensional. And into the brewed. Now I don't know if it's just because I love brewed coffee, but I really do love brewed coffee, and this is great. I mean, that whole chocolate lime thing is definitely going on there. The butterscotch is there for sure. It's a really good coffee. I'm so sad that we're not going to see this again. I'm going to make, so I arrive in El Salvador Christmas Eve, and I'm there for 5 days. I'm going to try and find some time to go and talk to the guys at the farm if I can, because this is too good a coffee to lose. Only finding it last year in Cup of Excellence, and then I don't know, we need to try and do something. I think it's a really good coffee. Okay, thank you very much for joining me as always. It's a pleasure to see you all virtually. Thank you for staying this long. I kind of never know how you manage to do it all. You're very good. And do remember, life is definitely too short for bad coffee.